Hey, I just wanted to hop on and talk a little bit about my recent obsessions. So this will just be kind of a quick one. I'm just gonna run through some things that I've become very obsessed with recently. Yeah, so I'm like the type of person that just gets super into things and researches a lot about it and gets super into it. I just kind of go from one interest to the next. So really at any given time, you can ask me like, what are you into? And I guarantee you there's going to be something that I'm obsessing about. My husband is the same way, so we're both always kind of dipping into something very seriously for a short time and then finding the next thing we're into. So anyway, I just kind of wanted to have this as a place to document the different things that I'm getting really into right now. So the first thing is intermittent fasting. I've actually been doing intermittent fasting for about 5 years. I first got into it in about, I think 2018. Yeah, I just started reading this book, Fast Like a Girl by Dr. Mindy Pelz, and it's a really fascinating read. She really goes into the benefits of fasting, the different length fasts, and like what it does to your body. She talks a lot about nutrition, and the most fascinating thing for me was how she explains how to fast for your hormonal cycle. So, for instance, she shares a lot about what to do the week leading up before your period. Actually, we want to be like supporting our progesterone, which means actually progesterone likes glucose, so going like carb free or doing a lot of fasting or doing heavy exercise, anything that's going to like spike your cortisol levels, is actually going to stop the production of progesterone, which is the hormone that's actually supposed to keep us kind of like calm in the days leading up to our period. So all this stuff is like super fascinating, and yeah, it gives us some real practical tools and to manage our cycles better. So anyway, yeah, I'm not an expert, obviously, so if you want to learn more about this, I would suggest checking out Dr. Mindy's YouTube channel. That's where she started all of this and built her community of women who are also into fasting. And check out her book, Fast Like a Girl. I'm loving it. That's actually a really good segue into my next obsession, which is cycle syncing. So I've been really into cycle syncing recently, reading more about it, learning more about it, and how to kind of just nurture myself throughout the month. Like most Americans, actually, I wasn't paying much attention to my cycle. You know, we go through 4 phases that are really different, and our body needs different things from us and does different things, and we have different energy levels throughout the month. Our body needs different types of foods throughout the month. Our body needs different types of exercise throughout the month. So I've just been really getting into that. I would say a good resource for this is there's a YouTube channel. I think her name is Jill's. I'll put her channel in my description. She has a lot of information about that. She will have better book recommendations for this. I'm just getting started with this. I'm again not an expert. But I'm just really wanting to kind of like nurture my feminine nature and not just treat my body like a machine or the way a man treats their body, because their hormones are like totally different. They have a 24-hour cycle of testosterone that is released, but for us, our hormones are changing throughout the month. It's different every day. So I think that's worth exploring. But the next thing that I want to talk about is hair care. So actually, I became very inspired by the videos by the Blowout Professor, and again, I will put his YouTube channel in my description. I've learned so much about hair care from him. Like, he really gets it. Like, just simple stuff. Like, honestly, he had this video, I think it's called like how to wash your hair, and I'm like, how did I not know how to wash my hair properly until I watched this video? So anyway, I'm just getting into it and finally taking care of my hair like a lot of Americans, I really did not take care of my hair well. There isn't a lot of information about how to actually take care of your hair. It's very normalized to be dyeing and bleaching your hair, which is so bad. It causes so much damage and breakage, and also overstyling. Oh my god, like, I graduated high school in 2012, so my age group, that was like the prime time for straightening your hair every day from basically middle school until like through college. So anyone who's like my age, like, you probably can relate with this, that like it's like the social norm to flat iron your hair, and oh my goodness, it causes so much damage. So but I didn't know this stuff back then, you know, just everyone's straightening their hair, everyone's like going blonde or whatever. So yeah, I went blonde for the first time when I was 20, and I did it kind of on and off throughout my 20s. The last time I went blonde was, I think, 3 years ago, and my hair is still recovering from all of that. Like, it's been 3 years since I bleached my hair, and I still have damage on the ends from it. So anyway, I'm just really appreciating a lot of the stuff that I'm learning on YouTube from these YouTubers who are into hair care. So one thing I've been doing is I stopped using flat irons and curling irons. I mean, maybe I'll do it on special occasions, like a couple times a year, but basically the only heat I'm putting on my hair is my blow dry brush, and that's only maybe once or twice a week. So anyway, I can do a separate video on like the hair care stuff I'm doing, but anyway, actually taking care of my hair and not like dyeing it, burning it, ripping it, getting obsessed with it. The next thing that I'm obsessed with recently is I'm reading this book. It's called A Gentleman's Daughter, or The Gentleman's Daughter. Anyway, something like that, by Dr. Amanda Vickery. And it basically is a cultural history of women during the Georgian period in England. Mostly, actually, most of her research comes from the north of England. Mostly, she was sampling letter correspondence. And so it's just really fascinating to kind of take a deep dive into, you know, what the lives of these women were like. I just finished a section on pregnancy and childbirth, and oh my goodness, as much as I hate the modern world, I have to say, like, we are lucky in some ways to have some of the technology and comforts that we have now, because wow, childbirth and pregnancy sounds really difficult back in the late 1700s. Now I'm reading about illness, and it's more on motherhood again, so a lot about childhood illness, like the infant mortality, things like that. So anyway, I'm just a weirdo, and I really like these kinds of topics. I love reading about the lives of people from the past, and seeing how they lived, and what their day-to-day life was, how they approached issues. Another notable thing that's coming up in this book that I'm really liking is this idea of Christian resignation. And it doesn't have to be necessarily Christian, but basically there's kind of a cultural phenomenon at this period of resignation, and just kind of dealing with challenges of life with an attitude of acceptance and faith. That there's a plan, and it's all part of a bigger plan, and to not freak out, just to kind of like keep it calm, have faith, pray about it, we're gonna get through this, not really kind of letting it all out there, which is like become so commonplace and the norm today, to really make a big deal out of everything that's happening to us. So I'm just really appreciating this point of like resignation. So yeah, I mean, this book is fascinating, and if you're into history, I would really recommend it. I'm interested in this period because I'm a big Jane Austen fan, so basically this is the period leading up to that Pride and Prejudice era and into that era. So yeah, if you're into that, I would definitely check it out. So the next thing that I've been obsessed with recently is doing some scriptural study. Like I've mentioned in other videos, I practice bhakti yoga, so our main text is the Bhagavad-gita. So I have read it many times in the past, but recently my husband has really encouraged me to do like a deeper study. So I've been every morning basically reading through and then finding a verse that kind of speaks to me, reading the commentaries on it, and then writing reflection on it. And just that little thing, it just brings me so much peace. It's really nourishing. So I would really encourage anyone, no matter what your tradition is, whether it's the Bible, the Quran, whatever spiritual text speaks to you, to just take that little moment every day and yeah, go deeper into it. Think about what you're reading, ask questions, think about how these verses, these scriptures are speaking to our lives. So the next topic I've been really obsessed with is Princess Catherine of Wales. I just think she's so amazing. I mean, it's not really recent, it's been going on for a long time, but I just think that she's so elegant, dutiful, beautiful. She's really just such a great role model, and I think she actually really embodies kind of that mood of resignation as well that I was talking about before. She's just so resigned to her duty. She really shows up, and it does take a lot of sacrifice what she's doing. As many people would say, they think sometimes, I guess, the royal family is like spoiled or something, but man, Princess Kate works so hard. She does so many engagements. It's way more than a full-time job, the position that she's been given to be a princess, and I think she's really shining in this role. I think it was also really amazing to see some of these clips from her performance at Eurovision. That was just kind of a very welcome surprise. I'm not like a follower of this festival or anything, but it did pop up for me on YouTube, and I checked it out, and she's just so talented in so many ways. She really just keeps it together and just exemplifies grace in all circumstances. It was amazing also to see her in all her regalia at the coronation. It's very rare to see her dressed that way, so that was really a treat, and to watch her with her children. And anyway, she's just amazing. She's one of my heroes, and she's a recent obsession, but she's pretty much an always obsession. So the next thing I've been obsessed with is going to bed super early. I, in general, go to bed pretty early. At least I try to, because I love waking up early. But recently, I don't know, somehow I've just gotten in this routine of like settling in and showering at like 7:30 p.m. and getting into something comfortable and just kind of winding down slowly, doing some stretching, reading my Kindle, having some tea, whatever it is, but just like really clocking out early. And it's been so nice. It's just so nourishing, and I find that the morning hours are way more valuable to me than late night hours. I can get way more stuff done in the morning. I feel better if I'm waking up early. So for me, it's a priority to go to bed early. I'm gonna try to do it more often. But yeah, I'm really obsessed with these like 7:30, 8 p.m. bedtimes that I've been doing. Of course, I don't fall asleep at like 7 or 7:30, but just, you know, like getting into the mode of just winding down. It just feels really, really good. And if you're someone who loves the morning, it's the best thing you can do for waking up early, is to settle down early. So, yep, obsessed. Okay, I think that is it for my recent obsessions. Yeah, thank you for listening, and again, I'll put some of these resources in the description box so you can check it out too, about hair care, about cycle syncing, about intermittent fasting. Maybe I'll even throw in some links to some recent Princess Kate looks. And yeah, so thank you for listening, and I'm sure I have a lot more obsessions to make videos about in the future, because I'm always into something, always up to something. So yeah, we will talk about those. All right, bye.